Not too bad about yourself.
If it's warm in here, it'll be great.
You should wear your parka.
I know.
I like the vest though, it's cute.
Thank you.
Is this the courthouse?
That's gonna be on the third, you're good. Just take a right, go all the way up the stairs to the third floor. This is the first floor.
Okay,
Yeah, so just take a right, you'll see some stairs and go all the way to the top.
thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, sure. Okay, Bill? Driver's license? Oh, boy. Oh, you mean court?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna go take a, see, right there, you take a right, go all the way up the stairs, and it should be there. So this is the first floor, we have to go to the third floor. Okay, so if you just go here. So you just go here, you go all the way up the stairs. That's where the court is. Okay, yeah, you're welcome.
Toros, the
I got sit down for certified leg.
Christie is the email quarantine software, SOPHOS. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Perfect, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Either the readings or the envelopes or
Good
the.
morning.
What's the worst stuff? Morning.
Hi,
How are you?
not good, but I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Isn't this the same one? Yeah. It already got served, so why did I get another? Interesting. Good for Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good out there. Just hope it continues.
How's your mom?
Well, she's still in the hospital.
Is she?
That's where I'm headed as soon as I get out of here. Trying to get a rehab to go to down
Oh, I got you.
I don't think she'll ever get to go back home and live by herself.
Yeah,
I really don't want her to.
I got you. Makes sense.
Takes us one fall.
Yeah, 91 years old, but Legal assistance.
Yeah.
Just,
That's, that is just a number.
yeah.
Yeah. Everything's expensive. So that was on the spreadsheet.
Morning. How are you?
Are you trying to get your
Alright.
manage?
All our life we live in a green dog.
How are you doing? Great.
Yeah, I know. We're just- Because, nursing home next.
Morning.
Good morning,
I
if you
really
have to.
don't want to do it. And when she doesn't want to do it.
At least we wanted where she wanted to live, so I didn't have any husband, but she ended up living with both daughters as well. She did, and she died when she was young.
As long as
So, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
able to take care of myself, it works for me. It's not really full-time care. You gotta be in-house or in-person.
it's hard to find a private nurse
Well,
next to impossible.
Linda does have a bank account. Well, we do.
Anyway, yeah. Our room's 6,000, village,
Well,
we pay that car.
so pretty close. Reading on it now, talking like Jeremy, he's the
Yeah,
deal back then. He's gonna turn out once I say,
really.
well, I'm looking all. Only thing I know I have to say,
Yeah, if you give me
It's not quite ready, it's about 2 weeks out.
So good, yes.
Might be we're trying to
We're
get.
trying to keep them hustle, real.
Oh, yes. It's not
Can
gonna
they
work.
work his over the swing meeting? Those people are going to do.
Well, that's what they're gonna do, maybe mid,
Yeah. So I think that gives you 2 weeks.
Yeah.
so, I don't know what, I haven't spent much time in the hospital.
I was in hospital this week. I'm not doing too well.
And I was talking about
He called and said the doctor's going to be the same.
I'm thinking this is
I know, that's what I think. It's unfortunate.
very- it is.
This is what I'm gonna do.
Anything? Your crew working on it?
Oh, we got Liz down in Johnsonville.
Oh,
We got some.
I guess it's real.
He just works there and make sure that there's available. Need what you start or whatever.
Yeah, it
All
was,
around, it's right.
on Johnsonville Saturday, yesterday, part of the day yesterday.
Did I give you some reports from your staff? Maybe you guys.
And they just can't keep help.
understand it.
So are we setting bills Friday or wait till next month?
People are saying enough, so we gotta go in and do, we can do work that.
I'm nervous asking.
To do if somebody has a knowledge of doing.
decided they were bringing a lot of people up to the band, and bands, we could have
Yeah.
3 more percent.
As far as you work for,
Can you come in Friday for those?
Oh,
Nice lot.
Maintenance.
so need some skill, I mean, basically.
Yeah, like Taylor Allen, he's got all his training down there at the Anheuser's, that they're the one that, well, money companies hired him out.
Yes.
Yeah, that works out.
On certified, take their stuff.
Right.
January's almost gone.
Tell me about it. Did you get it? Maybe this one we just got last week.
Yeah.
Well, I just got another one this morning, the certified mail.
Yeah,
My special?
No, I don't know. I don't
Pardon,
know.
Mel, do you want me to answer that?
Careful.
Oh, I got you.
Do you know what the triple A award has to be?
I think it just be one word.
Perfect. Just wanted to double check on that.
Not quite. Probably really need more than a week.
What's gonna fall out, it's gonna get money, I can't, summarize that. And then we're gonna do some free prep. I'll take all the glass out.
Yeah, good. We just didn't have the management, it was one day's out. We got those big doors that would come out.
You call me or?
They'll want to sell too. We've sold most of the doors inside. So.
He'll probably.
Lawyers, no
We
way.
wanna keep it going.
The excitement, no, some decent.
No, those are, yes, all 3 doors were new, Harvard Newsom years ago. So there's a south door and there's a west door. They're all newer, I mean, 10 years, 15 years. It's been. So that.
Have you had any township meetings yet?
For what?
Well,
Like
we'll-
Silver
we'll-
Township?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there a couple months now.
So my son's down there.
Yeah.
And then Darby.
Is this all, is sworn in?
Okay.
Yeah.
I say, I knew Lee was the attorney before, so
Yeah.
you got to take that over too.
Oh, yeah.
So you're down
No, pretty much. I've got probably 2 nights a month.
Oh, like somebody took the gutters out last year, Mike
But
Pruett.
that meeting's during the day. It's-
Any suggestions?
Yeah, that's the one.
I was kind of surprised that it was during the day.
They're
Just
just,
like at noon, so.
most of them won't fit anything
Yeah.
else.
Fox.
And then.
They got it pretty well done, hopefully.
Hi, Al.
Your statute.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, now it's-
Done it all this way, so.
The hard to rework it.
I thought your article was very well written.
Thank you.
You did a good
I
job.
appreciate that. The one on the.
The federal
I'm
legislation.
very excited to see where that goes. So any updates you ever get.
I read that, and I went, that's a well done
And then I
article.
went, go online and I went to the Bureau of Engineers website and some good information on there and so.
Well, I figure if they, I
Volunteer
don't know,
work.
send that from one to the next, so keep track of that.
There you go.
Yeah, Yeah, I know how the other one got over. It's not a good
Trying
thing.
to get the money for the building, and that's about, every year the cost goes up.
Saving for 40 years. See, we're down to, this is last year's, you would have done this.
Oh, yeah.
We got, 50,000 back. And, that's what we was.
Yeah, we just don't want to.
Well, it's good. And then we have to move. Have to not do more, might have to do.
We estimate the cost of this removal. It's probably a year or so. So it's probably not a little bit from that.
I was in here, what, Mr.
Well, I guess
Rosales.
that's-
I would just give that one up and just give normal.
Yeah, I think so. Just leave it there.
Where's the Dutch pigeon going?
Started to
I just stop and watch it. Does it really work? It's more of a timepiece than a clock.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is.
All right, I've got 9 o'clock, the local meeting with pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mark, you're on the hot seat if you want to come up.
I can do it.
What you got?
The Jackson County Historical Society building. I'm sure y'all know where the Rupke House is.
I don't, and so.
Well, this house to be removed is at 208 New York.
208.
You're gonna remove the house?
Yeah, it's south of the Rupke House.
Oh, south of Rubbing House, okay, okay, I thought you said the Rubbing House was gonna be removing it this
Yeah,
way.
no, not the
Okay.
Rupke House. But anyway, you guys know what stuff costs. Well, what I'm asking of the commission is to waive the dumping fee at the landfill. And we've got an estimate here, I've been talking with Ed Rostetter. And to dump that house at the landfill will be between $4,500 and $5,200.
Okay.
I'm just trying to save the Jackson County Historical Society that cost. Because we got all that Capital Trucking Company that does a lot of hauling up here. They're gonna do the hauling. And then we're just gonna bring in our excavators and tear the house down.
Okay, so Bettis Capital Trucking is going to waive their fees or?
Oh,
No?
no, their fees are per truck is $135 an hour per truck.
Okay,
That's from leaving Topeka till we get back to Topeka. I'm figuring 2 trucks, it'll probably take 10 hours.
have we talked to them about possibly donating some of their time?
They won't do it.
They will not do it, absolutely?
I haven't even talked to them.
Well, I'd approach them on it and see what they say. I mean, we do a lot of business with Bettis, a lot of business with
I
Capital
haven't talked to
Trucking, so.
Mark Hyde. Mark's their man in charge of Capital Trucking.
Mhm.
And I can talk to him.
I'd talk to him, just broach him on the subject and see if they can waive part of their fees to do it. Personally, myself, I don't have a problem, doing it. Go ahead and,
I just have a couple, does she have any idea how many yards
Of rubble,
Yeah,
well, these dirt barrel beds that they've got, they hold 20 yards per barrel bed.
okay.
And they're estimating 18 to 20 loads. And the landfill charge is $13 a yard.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask what the purpose is for tearing it down? And how did you?
Yeah, it's not.
Sure, oh, absolutely.
Sure, Ed.
How they acquired it and some of those things?
Okay, the long-term plan, going back 35 years or so, was to put a new museum there. So it's taken us this long to reach this point.
Okay.
We own the building downtown here,
Mhm.
we own the Roki House. We purchased the lot and the house next door about 20, 25, maybe 30 years ago, I forget a lot. And we've had our research materials in there for all those years. And the long-term plan was that building would come down, so that this gave us the area for a new museum. And we have the new museum and the Roki House all in one spot, and this was sold.
The corner building will be sold.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's the long-term plan.
So my other question before hauling in there, has everything been tested? I mean, you know, we can't just haul anything in there.
Yeah, I talked to Ed down there at the landfill. He says everything is okay to come to landfill. He says if there is any hazardous materials, he wants it wetted down before they can come.
So I would prefer, I mean, Ed does a wonderful job down there. Ed's very knowledgeable. Scott Kiefaber, our Public Works Director, I'd like him, he's right behind you.
Yeah.
And I want Scott involved in this conversation, because he's the one who is in charge of all this. So just to bring you up to speed, they have a house here in town. The Historical Society wants to tear it down, Scott, and they would like for the county to waive the fees to haul all this rubble to the landfill. Any questions that you have, you're the man with the knowledge of this. I'd like you to ask or speak to it.
Well, is it something that the county's requested to be tore down, or?
No.
No. It's as Ann explained, it's a house that they purchased 25, 30 years ago. And they've been storing their historical documents in it. And now they feel that now's the time to go ahead and build a new museum and then sell the building on the corner.
It'd be at 208 New York,
Yeah.
the museum location, the new structure, which would be just south of the Rupke House at maybe 210.
216.
216.
I guess my question to you, Scott, is there any questions that you have as far as the shingles, the paint, anything within that? Do you have a problem with it going to the landfill?
We'd like to have, anytime we do houses, you know, like the metal separated out, like hot water heaters, things like that separated out. No air conditioning type of units for Freon or anything like that, no refrigerators.
That's already done.
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Virgil's already removed all the metal, all the ductwork, the heating systems, AC systems, HVAC, all that's been removed. Sewer and water have been cut back to the sewer line and water at the curb stop.
And gas.
Gas has been removed. Everything's ready to go.
So how many loads are we talking?
They're saying 18 to 20.
Semi-loads, dump truck
Some
loads?
of that for capital trucking,
Yeah,
trucking
we
into
just-
barrel beds.
And those aren't going to be packed. I mean, there's no way you can pack them like that, right?
Well, we're gonna take it down with an excavator and a thumb, so we
Yeah.
can crunch that
Crush it,
stuff
yeah.
out pretty good. The only thing is hard to get out of a regular dump truck is the end gates don't open high. With the barrel beds, the end gates
Yep.
open high. And Ed doesn't wanna have to have a backhoe down there to assist taking stuff out of a regular dump truck.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a one-man show, so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he'll do it. And then the only other problem we have, and I talked to Ed about this too, is his time of being open down there. But he said he is willing to come in on his own time if it happens to be that day that we truck this stuff down.
Scott, do you have,
We've never done that with anybody else. We've got shingle people that want us to do that all the time, and we don't do it.
would
I mean,
you,
I would coordinate when they were open, try to coordinate
Oh,
the
yeah.
days when
I
they
mean,
were open.
that's a game plan, is
Yeah.
to do it when they're open, but the weather never, it's hard to factor the weather.
Sure.
the only thing I know is that sometimes, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, sometimes, like right now, this time of the year, if it's a Wednesday and Darlene doesn't have anything,
Right.
she's been sending him down, and
I
so,
don't have an issue with that, but
Yeah,
Monday he's off,
right.
yeah.
so.
And so, yeah, as long as it's within hours and he can take care of it, that's gonna be a lot for him to get covered up. We may have to consider maybe possibly Scott having somebody down there to just help him with the other traffic that's coming in. Cause
Yeah.
he's gotta have that all covered by the end of the day, correct?
No.
No,
Not
he
this
doesn't.
day.
Not by the end
No.
of, before
He has to have a solid cover over every quarter.
every quarter. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So, I don't,
Well, like I say, I personally don't have a problem with it, waiving
Yeah.
the fee for it.
I'm fine waiving the fees for the historical society.
Okay.
Um,
About 7
Linda?
grand.
I
Yeah.
make a motion that we waive the fee at the landfill for the Historical Society.
I'll second that.
Take down the house.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we waive the fee at the landfill for the Historical Society dump for the house. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
While
Would you
you're
like
here-
our financials?
What's that?
Would you like our financial report?
Well, I was gonna say, while you're here, we had talked, who did we talk to?
It was Mary Schultz.
Yes, Barry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, since you're here, if you wanna make your request, save you a trip.
Okay, we requested about 3,000 from, the same as you've done the last few years.
Okay,
We'd like to see that more. Can I request 5?
you can,
You can.
Okay, I'll request 5.
Okay,
but
and things are kind of tight this year, so we'll have to kind of play that by ear, but it's duly noted that you're requesting 5. We'll see what we can do. Okay?
Okay. Do you, we, as a 501c3 organization, we have to make our financials available. Do you want me to leave this copy for you to
that's,
peruse this?
Yeah, that'd be great.
that'd be great.
I need it back.
Okay.
But this is a copy you can have.
And then your request, if you would, just email that to
Need
Christie.
it in the email.
I would
Yeah, that way
prefer,
it's just on paper.
That way we have a record
Paper
of it.
trail for it,
Yeah,
so.
that's fine.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope, like I say, that'll just save you another trip.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
See ya.
Thank you.
This should be here. This is good. And this shows what you did.
How you doing?
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Yeah.
Scott, how are you?
Exciting, and new museum.
Wife's
Coming.
doing that,
It's gonna be a long time.
home and doing that? or-
Yeah, one step at a time.
She can't use her hands still. You know, we took all that carpal tunnel surgery that we did.
Yeah.
We're getting a bill now for $11,000, but it didn't help, and they're wanting to do the other one, and it seems like it's worse now than it was.
That's too bad.
Just, I know she sits around, you know, it's like a cripple anymore. I said, Tina, move your hand. She goes, it hurts too much. She's just sitting there throbbing, you know?
Makes you wonder if second opinion or third opinion.
So,
They try to do therapy or anything?
yeah, we've been through
Huh.
all that stuff. And it basically came down when she had that kidney removed. I think they moved her around, messed her neck up. She came out of the surgery, so the numbness. And now they're saying that she's got nerve damage in her carpal tunnel, nerve damage in her elbows, and nerve damage in her ankle.
That's too bad.
You go in fine, come out worse than you went in.
Yeah. All right, what you got for us today?
Okay, first off, I have the contract deal, the bids came in from contractors for the, start at this side, for the 254 bridge out there, I'm sorry, the 246 bridge.
Okay, 246 bridge, yeah.
Just, contracts have been accepted, there's 2 bids on the back there. that's what they were in the state, with what the local did.
Feels good. Did I ask you whether we are still were qualified for any of the Kansas?
You did, and I talked with Pat.
Bridge on 246.
And she said that.
She said no. Okay. I thought I had. Thank you. Just email it. If you will just email it to me, that'd be great.
So it's just somebody who's on
Yes, but keep taking a look at it if he wants to. Do we need a motion to approve the contract? Okay.
Did you see anything in there that was stuck out, Mark? Or?
I didn't see anything.
He's pretty standard.
And
So.
Todd's,
Yes, yeah.
Todd's looked it over.
I don't know if he's seen it.
I don't think I have, what is it? What?
Contract for
Contract
bridge.
for a bridge replacement on 246, that's what we've been talking about.
The government funding.
Uh,
This involves state Kansas funds.
Yeah, I don't recall looking at it.
We'll let you take a look at it right now before we sign anything.
Yeah.
Motion on.
Okay, then we have our right-of-way form that we have out there. If you look at the last page here, we've got the old commissioners on there. We new one with new commissioners and chair signatures.
And that's the only thing that's changed on this, we didn't make any other changes in this.
No.
This is permission for right-of-way.
So you just approved the bid for this?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's, if the state's good with that, then that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move that we approve the contracts for the bridge at Circleville.
I'll second.
Okay.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the bid, is it bid for the bridge? Approve the bid for the bridge on 246. Any further discussion?
No.
If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. So you just want me signature on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can put the rest out on the date and all that stuff.
That's a different form, we don't have the, no. So we're gonna need one line.
Yes. Right, so that works.
Yeah, so this is the resolution. So, that's resolution 20, so we don't need to, we shouldn't have to redo any,
The
That there is
resolution should
just-
stand, shouldn't it?
yeah, the resolution's gonna stand. That there should just be, if somebody fills that out and brings it in, then the chairman will sign it and away we go.
Okay. This is our deal we talked about with Jay, Todd, and Bob.
For the payroll change number, okay? And did we outline our expectations for them?
We went over that level 4 position,
Okay.
very well outlined in that. Talked to them. Then we have also, we had Wes Andretti quit last Friday, so his paperwork's in there. He's the great light operator we were training down here. He quit. And then Jason Vegason's also in there, 6 months ago, we talked to him about doing some improvements on his performance and talked to Matt, and he agrees that he came along like he should. So this is kind of a 6-month deal for him.
What are we gonna do for a blade operator there, Ed?
We've got Bob moved back in there for now. Bob Miller.
For a temporary?
And we got a couple applicants that we've got one this morning. We talked to Guy last week. He's in the process of retiring.
Yes.
He's been, is in the process of retiring. So March 3rd is his time when he's going to come on board. He's got a Class A license. So
Run a blade?
we asked him about that and he said he really didn't care to.
Oh, truck driver.
Yes. Well, it could be, he can run the backhoes and skid steers and all that, excavator, all that stuff. Didn't know if you guys got any phone calls on people that's got recycling trailers at their places, but some of them had got snow packed in around them and we couldn't get them out, so you get calls, yeah, we'll get them when we can.
Did not.
Back when I came on board with Road and Bridge, they just purchased blades for the motor graders, and it's $15,000 budget. We still have 110 of those in stock today from 4 years ago, and so there's $15,000 a year that we haven't been using. This year we may have to dip into that for blades. We can run through these 110 this year. That's basically with the 12 units that we have. You can change them out 8 times per year. So that's 96 blades total. So we got enough to run for this year. They usually change them out, just depending on the ice and what they're dragging. So, I just wanted the option to use that money elsewhere later in the year if we need to. Like I said, I think we will need to be buying blades sometime this year, but I don't think we need to buy them like we did last time. It was all like 500.
Okay.
Yeah, let's revisit that later on if we need to, because I got a feeling they're going to be going up.
Oh,
So,
yeah, from 5 years ago, yeah.
Well, and even in the near future, I got a feeling they're going up. So let's revisit that as we need to.
Okay. Just a thought here to kick around, our chip and seal this year, we got 11.5 miles that we had on schedule. Most of them are like a little short, a mile here, half mile there, type of things. Do you want to entertain maybe skip a year, save about $200,000? And then that one let some of those roads need to back.
I think that on that, we're going to have to take a look at the condition of those roads because we don't want to let them go. So, yeah, I think we're after
You guys
spring
still have
gets
the
here.
copy, do you still have the copy of what we had for this year?
The number of roads to chip and seal?
Yeah. I can get it.
I think you need, yeah, let's get that back.
But you have them on a 3-year rotation, right? Or is it 5
year?
5 years. So I guess I'd like you to go out and evaluate. If we're not going to completely chip and seal, we're going to skip a year.
See what's going to do to everything else.
Well, I just want to make sure that we're putting extra effort into patching holes and or blowouts, because we have some of those from time to time where the water
Right.
That would be we still spend some money on them to make sure that we're getting the holes fixed correctly, not just throwing something in it and that type of thing.
Yeah, and that's what I say. I think we need to look at the condition of the roads we want to skip because if they're in pretty poor condition or getting to be pretty poor condition, we don't want to let them go to where we lose them. So consequently, there again, when do you normally put out bids or?
Bids
accept
come out
bids?
pretty quick, usually February. I think we do the dust control and shipping seal about the same time.
Like maybe toward the end of February or?
Mid-February.
Okay, so let's try to schedule a time to where we're going out and looking at these roads.
Okay.
Here we're within the next couple of weeks, so that we got an idea of what we're looking at. 'Cause like I say, I don't want to skip them if we're
Right.
gonna, lose them.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Let's see. Got a little thing I put for you. We got our LTAC classes that I talked to you guys about. Here's kind of an idea of what they'll be doing in those classes. We'll break down the things.
And who are we sending to these?
Right now, for the asphalt road street maintenance, we got Matt, Bob Miller, Braden, Jason, and Jason Mason, and Landon. For the supervisory class, we got Matt, Brandon, Jay, Bob, and Todd. Public works, we got me. And then for the gravel road maintenance, we got Vaughn, the Weston's gone now. They came up with this. Jerry Gay, Landon Bagley, and Jason Fulkerson would like to go for a refresher. Only $65 for the class, I figured that'd be good.
Yeah.
65 spent.
Okay.
Is it like a one-day thing?
Yes.
Got your attention anyway,
Okay, there was a gentleman in here last week that I saw on video here that was asking about a culvert or bridge over on 246 and T4. We had looked at that, and he is correct, the walls are collapsing in, and we've got that on our schedule now to replace that with two this year.
Yeah, I took Linda over there and showed her that,
Okay.
the week after he talked to me about that.
Okay.
And she was gonna do something about it, get it.
Yeah,
get
it
something
was never
temporary or
passed
whatever.
along, it's never passed along, so.
Okay.
Matt and I looked at it, and he's getting with Michael Maris, who's our engineer that does our inspections, to get the water drainage figured out. That way we get the right size tube.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
And so that could be done this summer or
That's right.
spring, summer?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll let them know about that.
depends on how quick we get the information back.
Sure.
Let's see. Let's see, also, I believe it's Luke in here talking about X, from 254 to 262, X 278, 286 road. Matt and I drove those also. To me, the roads are in good condition, look fine, except for one spot, about 50-foot long, it's kind of inverted on close to 286 on X.
But the question was, they shouldn't be minimum maintenance roads. We don't have gravel on, do they?
No, there's kind of a light, you can see some rock in it, but it's not like it's been gravel.
Like I said, I think some of these that we're gonna have to revisit and look at and see, because he was mentioning that was the only direct route between, 9 and 16, is that what he was saying?
Right, but it's been that for,
Well, that's what I'm saying, forever, I don't know.
well, I mean, you haven't been graveling it,
No,
and it's not a,
to me, it's gonna get the same attention with the minimum maintenance survey.
did it have a sign up prior to this?
I couldn't tell you that. Should have had either a dirt or minimum maintenance.
Well, okay, so since we're bringing this up, how did we go about checking to make sure the roads that were on the minimum maintenance list were minimum maintenance roads?
All I can tell you is,
Because I think that when we started this process clear back last summer, that we asked that that these roads were verified, is what we had asked.
minimum maintenance and
How did we verify these?
it should wait or so we went out checking.
Well, when did Wade leave?
April.
Yeah,
So he was working on
he
this.
was working on the list, yes, so.
But they've been putting up signs all
What
summer.
I'm saying is, Christie, we got a call this week from Riley's.
It's about that the same.
I've got,
You got the same
I got
call.
all his paperwork too.
That was on, so their road is currently on the minimum maintenance list that we just published and passed, right?
Yes,
So how were the roads verified is what my question
it's
is.
right here.
Yep. I thought that, you know, to verify the roads and make sure that they are minimum maintenance, and this didn't happen because I don't like to have egg on my face when we pass something like this, that somebody's already paid to have the road maintained and it's still on the minimum maintenance list. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I thought that the road, when we asked the roads to be verified that they were, it wouldn't be sitting down in the office looking at the map, it would be going out and verifying that the roads were actually minimum maintenance roads, not sitting in the office doing that. So,
but just if you drive out the road and you see it there, how do you classify it as minimum?
well, there again, that's the thing, that's
Go
where,
back through.
The statute says, to be clear, when the county commissioners are of the opinion that any road within the county is used only occasionally or is used only by a few individuals, the board may commence. So you're, that besides the fact that you have a few individuals using it, I think that points to a very subjective standard on your guys' part. You can add or detract from that, but as long as the first part of that is very few, and again, that's pretty big too, how many few?
right. No, I understand that, but all I'm trying to get across is when we ask to have the roads verified, to me, that's going out and looking at the road. Is there a sign up there now? No, there's no sign up there. Okay, if there wasn't a sign up there, was there ever a sign up there? Did it get put on the list of sign up there? That's what we're trying. We're trying to get things to where everything's on an even keel, everything's uniform. But like I say, if we just sat in the office and looked at the map and said it's minimum maintenance road, I don't like that. That's the point I'm trying to get across right here. If we ask to have them verified, then, you or Linda or whoever was in the position at the time should have gone out and looked at it and checked it to see if it was to the standard of a minimum maintenance road. That's all I'm saying.
And again, I said, if you go out there to a road and there's no signs, no dirt, no minimum maintenance, then you're going back to 1859 when the county was established to try to dig out information of whether it's a dirt road or minimum maintenance over 1,100 miles.
But there again, so if it's on the list, then at some time there should have been some action taken, maybe or maybe not. But then again, that's going to go back to your opinion or whoever was in the position, or Matt or whoever. If it's got grass growing up in the middle of it, then we know that it's probably a minimum maintenance road, right? I mean, theoretically.
But that, I think that's been part of the problem is that, like this, that Luke Cochran's talking about, may have a speck or two of gravel in it. He says it shouldn't be a minimum maintenance road, but he doesn't, it's not up to him to determine that.
I agree. I'm not arguing that.
Even if they go out and look at it, there's no sign up, if we don't have a resolution somewhere or past minutes or something that determines that was made a minimum maintenance road at some point, then it's up to us to determine.
That's exactly right. There again, if we would have had a list of roads that you said, hey, you guys maybe want to go out and take a look at these or whatever. You know, these I know definitely are minimum maintenance, but if it's up to the county commission to make the determination, then we should have had the opportunity before we publish this list to say, yeah, that is, that isn't, and be done with it.
All right, so look, it's almost a year ago, that list.
Right.
But I thought the whole reason was to get away from dirt roads, so.
It was.
To come in and say,
It
these
was.
are minimum maintenance roads now.
Yes, to try to get everything under the same standard.
Right.
And now we need to come up with a standard of how we're going to be maintaining those roads from here on out.
Right.
So that's another conversation, but what it says, I
But
like
we
that.
have-
It's in that book of how to maintain your road, is the matter of getting scheduled.
How many times a year are we gonna hit it, so on and so
Okay.
forth. That's what we need to determine.
I was just getting to that.
Yep.
Just to get something down for a schedule.
And that's what we need to
How you
determine
gotta
now.
get out. Yeah.
So,
But as far as the standard to maintain the road, we have that.
yes, and that's what I said, I agree with that, you know, that's what I've been telling everybody, we have the standard in the book, this is how we're supposed to maintain a minimum maintenance road. Now we need to come up with an idea of how often we're gonna do it, so on and so forth.
Right.
Okay, that's all I'm saying here.
Yeah.
But, so now we're gonna have to rescind or take this off, and what, do we have to republish it, or how do we get around to
Are
it?
you sure you don't need to start over?
Well,
Why would we have to do
everything,
that?
everything that you've done and declared in that last resolution is in. So what you would do now is you would take the ones that you removed or new ones you want and just put them in a stack and say, okay, let's do whatever we're gonna do as far as investigating those. And then if you wanna do another resolution, then you do it about those, you know, couple.
Okay, so the one where they have the documentation, you have the documentation for Riley's that shows, okay, so all we have to do is rescind that one or take it off the list, that's what I say, how do we go about getting that done?
All I have to do is go tell Kate to add that little mark on the map.
It's not a full mile, it's just.
Yeah, it's just a partial,
2/10 of a mile.
yeah, okay. That's what I'm trying to get around, I don't know, so that's what I'm
Yeah,
asking.
it's basically going to Kate up there and say, just like this right here, these were changes for 2023 that went in and made changes to here, the map. Oh, sorry. It's the master
Okay.
law.
Okay,
It's something we need to talk about too while we're all talking, is this 190 road, your road.
Yep.
Your road. Issue is gravel.
yeah, that's what I say, it always has. It is all, on every map I've looked at, from
Map that shows
1954.
gravel,
From 1954 on, it shows gravel, that was the latest, or the oldest map that I found.
So, anytime somebody does a road extension, whatever distance that is that noted now out at Road Bridge? So, the only one I'm familiar with is down on T Road.
Well, we did the one on D Road too, out there, I think 254 a couple of years ago, where they built a house, or were gonna build a house.
Right. So
Did that.
once you do that, then you note that somewhere so that anybody in the future can go back and look and go, oh, okay, this goes clear up to this point now.
Yes, it should all be in the minutes and
Right, but,
whenever we do that.
right, but out at Road and Bridge, do you have a way of, every time a road extension goes in, you update a map and
The
documentation?
map is with Kate. Whenever
You don't keep one out there so that your blade operators.
We can't change the maps.
No, I think you missed the point though.
I know, I do. Like I said, we make notes and give it to Kate and them, and then they update the map. They're actually to send them off to do what they have to do. They send the maps.
Once a year.
Send them back to PDF.
Sure.
They're working on road maps right now,
Okay.
so.
So that way you'll have a current, for 25, you'll have a current updated map of all road extensions and what.
Correct.
Okay, that is.
Just like, these updates should have been on there last year, and what I gave her the other day should be going on there for this coming. So we are keeping in contact with them, that, that control the maps and things like that.
Like, do you have a file?
That's what I was gonna ask, you don't have a file out there that,
I would have
Somebody
to
can go
look.
to
I
and
would-
research them all at one
I'd
time?
have to go look.
I would think there would be a file somewhere to
And there
where
probably
if you
is.
did have a road extension, that you would have it in the file, you know, we extended from A to B in 1999, so, yeah.
Probably under an individual's name.
Like, that's where this should be every time something.
Yeah, that list should be updated every time we have an extension.
Well, we just did get it, we've got what we call the R drive, which is a shared file that's up here on the computer system. So we just got that set up here recently,
Good.
where we can start going in and sharing files, stuff like that. I don't know if Wade did that, Linda did that, who did that, we can't get to it. Because people leave, they don't have passwords, things like that. So we are trying to get a system going to where things are in there as shared, that we can have access to.
Something like this, I would think would be a paper copy in a file out there
Yeah, maybe.
that you can pull out.
I don't do the filing, you know, that was Linda, and
But these roads that exist now and have
Yes.
been open, they haven't been treated in any way, and then
They
somebody comes
haven't
along
had
and goes,
gravel.
okay, because, you know, that would be my start, would be when was the road open, and, you know, some of these places may not have anything.
But so that's a good point. Let's talk about the other gentleman that was sitting back here that came up first before.
Vic Eubank, Jeff.
What's his name?
Victor Eubanks.
Victor, thank you. That road, I mean, he says there's a house there,
There was-
but it
that's-
is not a house.
That
They tore
road
it
is a
down.
house, there was a house there, half a mile back to the east from the corner. That was his family place, that's where he grew up.
Right, so what I was gonna say is from that house on should be where the sign would be, not at the beginning of the road, because,
well, you get people that, just like your 190 road down here.
Uh-huh,
You got gravel on one end, you got gravel on the other end. You put the sign up here where the gravel ends, then you've got these folks that live here having cars drive up there in the middle of the night and then seeing it's minimum maintenance, so they're turning around their driveways and all that.
yeah, I see where you're going. We did that
They
down
were
at the
at
county
the
line.
intersection
Yeah.
instead of way up there.
Yeah.
That way you don't get those people.
With the
driving.
understanding, if it's at the stop sign, with the understanding that it's minimum maintenance past the end of the gravel, as long as we always know that.
well, that's
Back
why
in
we
the-
put the sign up at the corner of that road.
Right.
There's actually two signs there, there's one at the corner and there's one past their driveway.
That's all.
So,
Yeah,
so the gentleman out here, even though if we had been maintaining his road up to that house in the 70s, 80s, 90s, when it was being lived in, that standard shouldn't go away once the house was torn down.
True. This gravel road is still here on the road.
Correct.
yeah, and that's what he was asking about and trying to figure out is when it became a dirt road, when it became a minimum maintenance road, because up until the time that the house was torn down, we were living out there still in, that was in the early 90s when the meth was going on and they had that
Yeah,
standoff and all
he
that good
mentioned
stuff.
that.
Yeah,
When he was in here,
that was in the early 90s.
he mentioned that. He said
And
that he
you want to
went-
go back to 190th, that road was a road, according to all the maps that I checked out, that I looked at before we purchased the property in '07. And the reason I know it was a gravel road is because the state used it as an official detour. It was put on the minimum maintenance road for whatever reason back in I want to say like 95 is what I found out.
Mhm.
It was put on the minimum maintenance list. Okay, resolution passed, all 9 yards, that's great. The state came in when they replaced the culvert on 16, closed 16, Denison had no access. And that's another point for that road. That's the only direct access to Denison if 16 is closed. Only direct access. They came in, widened it to the point, extent that they could, ditched it, rocked it, the whole 9 yards. It was a maintained road up until Mr. Dan Barnett, until when he was superintendent. He was apparently going through some minutes and found that it was a minimum maintenance road, went out and took it upon himself to put up signs, no notification, no anything. And from that point on, it was never touched again. which to me was wrong if it had been upgraded
Should've
to,
got that.
which, you know, I mean, but there again, you look at all the maps, and it never was taken off any of the maps as a minimum maintenance road. It's showed, always showed as a gravel road. So, my main contention on that, and from talking to my constituents in Denison, that is the only direct route to Denison. If anything happens on 16, a lot of them will take that route anyway, coming off 75.
Doesn't happen so.
So, yeah. So that was my point of view of listening to him on that. So we'll discuss that and
Like I
figure
said,
out what we're gonna do on it.
You guys just tell me what you want done, because like I said, the map shows gravel.
Yeah,
I was always told minimum maintenance, so that's where I was going.
yeah. So we'll work that out, figure that out.
Yeah.
But as far as VIX, we need to do some research into there and see when that was taken off. The ones that Luke talked about, I don't know. What's that?
Roger Phillips, he was one of those emails.
Roger Phillips is one of the emails, yes.
Yeah,
He lives out on 190th.
But if, so like the ones that Luke was talking about, if we made the decision to make a minimum maintenance, why are we going back to look at it? The resolution was to change all gravel roads, or I mean all dirt roads to minimum maintenance. So why?
We said we'd do
back?
some research into those four to see when they were, you know, if they were always minimum maintenance or not. We don't know. I don't know what happened 30 years ago.
I don't either.
And I don't know why, you know, we said that we would do some research into those and see what we can figure out, see when they were taken off and why they were taken off. Those were the only ones that we were questioned about.
And the idea here is that you're never bound technically by what somebody else decided back in the 90s. You guys can sit there and look at any road at any time and say, that's not minimum maintenance or this. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So if an adjustment needs to be made on the gentleman where the house was torn down, and we need to continue to gravel that up to where that driveway was, because we've done that, we can make that decision.
Or you could say that's, you know, because that house is torn down, if nobody uses it anymore. If it was used, now it's not.
Yeah, if it gets very few vehicles down a year, then, and maybe you take your traffic counter out there and you do a traffic count and determine what kind of traffic's going up and down. Do you have anything else, Mark?
No. Do you have anything else, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Well, we can revisit this later on, I mean, as far as minimum maintenance, so
Okay.
that's, we'll talk about continuing conversation.
We had an incident here, again, this is the good old boy, you know, thing that's gone on for years. If our guys are out plowing snow, they work over 12 hours, does the county pay for their lunch?
I don't know why we would. I mean, they're able to take.
I've never heard of such thing, but
That's what we're running into out
Okay,
here.
we went back and researched the last snowstorm, and they all took a half-hour lunch.
The guys are not taking their lunch, or so we recommend they do take a lunch. And they didn't take a lunch, and now they want to pay for it. But they won't pay for Tuesday, but not for Monday.
No, I'm not in favor of that. The handbook states that we
Do not
allow
pay
them lunches,
Right,
that we allow 30 minutes for lunch, right?
yep.
If they choose not to take it,
that's
that's on their end. I mean, you know, there's many times that I worked through lunch and, you know, didn't get paid for it, whatever, and it's, you know, I'll make it up in the end, which I know they'll make it up in the end too.
I'm just curious, I know during elections, you had many people work many more hours than that,
The-
long days.
The only way you are supposed to work through your lunch, and I have done it with my girls, when we have advanced voting and we're so swamped we can't get out of the office, I I will buy lunch.
But if you have the ability to take a lunch,
Then they do.
there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, no, I'm not in favor of that.
I'm not
They're
either.
working for the half hour lunch.
They're working through their lunch. Supposed to take lunch. We recommend take a lunch, take a break.
They have the ability to take a half-hour break for
Are we
lunch.
paying them though for the time they're working?
We
Yes.
don't pay for the half-hour lunch.
So I'm gonna have to deduct it out.
Nobody told them to work through their.
Nobody told them to work through their lunch.
Yeah, okay.
They're encouraged to take a break. You need to,
Yeah.
they
Well, I was
need
just
to
saying
fall
that-
out of that blade or stand up, stop, take a break. If they're choosing not to do that, that's all.
Well, yeah, this is an HR question, not necessarily mine. My antenna goes up whenever I hear I'm working in the day, kind of thing.
Well, then that could happen every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And we've had people who prefer to work through their lunch in the past years and then wanted paid for it in the past. I mean,
Yeah, and I
We're not
understand
gonna
the
do
directive is that you are not to work for your lunch. Okay, that's all you.
So it's in the handbook.
thank you.
Like I said, I just want verification, because the good old boy, equal handshake.
And you mean,
I mean, they thought they did it before.
yes, that's what he means by that.
It's
Supposedly,
74?
Wade had told them years ago that if they worked 12 hours, then they would get paid for their lunch.
I don't know why Wade would ever do, Wade doesn't have the authority to do that. And they should have known better than that.
Yeah, and Wade's no longer here to defend himself, so no, I'm not in favor of that.
Got verification.
Okay.
Christie, any budget numbers for me?
I do. Should be able to count it out.
Thank you. And we're still kind of on hold on the 254 bridge, waiting on the line to be moved.
The fiber?
Really?
Okay.
Matt's been in contact with him just about every day, trying to get answers.
Is that Jive or who is that?
Price feed.
Is there any way that
Will you guys move it?
I don't know if I want to dig in.
I don't know if I want to know, I wouldn't want to take a chance, but is there any that, they're holding up progress, is there any way that we can, force them out there to get it moved, because
This is in the
they're
right way,
holding,
right?
they've holding the
Yes.
bridge progress right now.
You guys don't, unless you have a right-of-way resolution/policy that says that, there really isn't much foothold statutorily, meaning if I wanted that, I would, you need to pass a right-of-way, program, which I have in some of my cities, which says, you can only put it here, and, if there's a conflict, this happens, and all, and in that you could say, if you're directed to move, you don't do it, then we will penalize you.
Well, my problem is, they came out and located, correct?
Yes.
And where they located at was nowhere near where the fiber was.
Right.
And so, out of the goodness of our hearts, we found it and we didn't go, oops, well, it's not where it is, so I'm just gonna keep
Dig
going.
through it.
Yeah, 'cause they would have been, you would have been liable because they were outside the tolerance.
But since out of the goodness of our heart, we said, hey guys, you might wanna come move this because it's in our way and we can't complete the bridge and it's nowhere near your locate. That's where I'm getting at. So now we're at their mercy, waiting on them.
The only thing to think of is hiring a contractor to actually do it.
Where,
Can't
have you been in contact with somebody on the phone directly? Matt has. I think you should reach out to them and say, you have to the end of the week to move on this, otherwise we're gonna hire a contractor and we'll bill you for that.
Because
That would be my
Yeah, that-
suggestion.
I would like to, I'd like to kick it up a little bit and say, county councilors would be contacting whomever.
Then, if you want to contact them, that's great, because we gotta get moving on this thing. We've been sitting dead for how long?
Oh, that's for Christmas.
Yeah,
All right.
so, yeah, I would recommend that you, contact them, get with Scott, get the contact
I'll
information.
get that information for you.
Okay,
All right, some of the things we had in the past year, the extent or entrance on X4 to 326, still not done. The ditching at 162 and Q is still not done. The road closure sign at W178 did get put up, so that's done. The fuel barrels for the graders are all where they need to be now. We're still waiting on them to put the pumps and stuff on the one at Boyd down here, the two at Boyd. The mulching's still going on. The 94 to 106 on I Road got done. He's on 106 I to H now. Mulching there. Truck drivers or dump truck drivers are going to start stockpiling here when it warms up a little bit. Get some rock all back in here.
How are the quarries looking? Are they crushed?
Down here at Soldier, they're talking about probably mid-February before they ever start crushing.
Okay.
Let me stop in the other day. They got a lot of equipment out there. Today, some of the guys are putting up mailboxes. We had an electrical problem with Becky's truck. They got that fixed. They got 8 services done last week and put a window in one of the graders. That's kind of where we're at. Just things.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions whenever you're ready.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Let's dive in on 12th blade minimum maintenance roads. We talked about that in the past, in the past 4 years. I would like to revisit that, have a conversation about using that 12th blade during the months that we can get out and get on them, and have somebody doing that in the entire district. That way our blade operators aren't having to come off their roads, the gravel portion of their roads, to do anything. This guy, to me, it's not any different than we rotate the mowers around the county. You know, if you have a guy who has less skill set than our normal blade operators, they can still go in and clean some ditches a little bit, knock the grass down. I just think it's something we've got to look at.
We talked about this last year,
And I know some of the hesitation was that the blade operators themselves didn't want somebody messing with their minimum maintenance rates. Well, they don't technically belong to them.
I know.
And I know they take pride in their work, some of our guys do. But this is a management decision, and if we can be more efficient and get these roads up into shape faster, then I think it's something we've got to take a look at.
And I do agree, because these, a lot of the minimum maintenance roads around the county have been neglected for so long that, and same with our gravel roads, that we've been working on, that we've talked about, that we've got to do something to get them back up to where they're in a passable, maintainable condition.
Because they make them sound like the minimum maintenance don't get touched.
Yeah.
I mean.
And
I mean,
that's
a lot
what
of
it
that,
was,
they
that's
do.
what it was years ago.
Yeah.
They didn't get touched.
And so we've got a lot that need to be redone. And that doesn't mean during the hot, dry months when we shouldn't probably be blading gravel roads, they can't be out working on those in conjunction with the 12th blade. But Linda, I'm just curious what you think about the 12th blade and doing something like that.
I mean, I don't necessarily know, it sounds good, but yet it seems to me like the person who's in that area should be taking care of the minimum maintenance road too. But, whatever's gonna take care of it, if it takes a 12th grader, I would go for it. I mean, something needs to happen,
Well,
because there's too much conversation about it not being touched.
Right.
Yeah.
And the 12th blade, that's come in handy because there are times where guys get behind and we send that 12th blade there, or we have a blade that's down, so we use that 12th in its place.
And that's you can still have that flexibility to do that,
Right.
but I think
Right now it's manpower. Right now it's manpower.
but you would pull somebody out of Matt's crew.
If we're not using them.
Okay.
I mean, if you're on a project and you got it really spoken for, I would like to, we can get somebody in there in the mowing, and maybe use that person around here and there. Would you like to said, there will be times in the dry season where you shouldn't be blading.
Yeah, I think this is
Like I said,
something
this is something we gotta,
And that,
see if we come up with a plan on that and get a,
and that leads right into my next topic is the GPS. In my opinion, as one commissioner, I believe getting it on the blades as soon as possible is important because then we have data showing when somebody says, nobody's been down this road in the last 6 months or 3 years, we can prove we have data showing that that's been done. And so the sooner we can get that done. So I need to know, I guess, as a commissioner, where we're at on this project. And I know it lies with the two of you at this point.
I'm, you know, when we talked to the gentleman down there at the convention, and he said, I'll get you the information, it shouldn't be any more than a couple months, we'll have all the software done, we should be good. I'll get you, he said, I'll email you next week and let you know for sure. I've not heard a thing from him. Have you?
I've had a couple calls with him, and he said he's gonna get on their engineering staff to get moving on it more. But-
And the reason being that we talked about the GPS for the accountability part of it, for the protection of the operators part of it, and for the time-saving part of it for administration out there. And that was the biggest key right there, was the time saving for the administration, for the administrative assistant out there. If I don't see that,
I don't know that it was the biggest key, but it is a big part of it. To me, the biggest part of it is knowing where the blades are and whether they're working or not.
but here's what we had, when we talked about the GPS, we talked about not only the accountability and the protection for the operators and the protection for the county, saying, you know, yeah, this went down there last week, I don't know where you were, but the blade went down. But with the cost saving part of it, we're putting out the money, the cost saving part of it was going to be the accounting software that was going to be in. So if we purchase this and 6 months from now, they say, yeah, well, guess what, we decided we can't really do that, then where are we sitting at?
Yeah, so
that's,
we need a drop dead date. I would like a drop dead date. If they can't provide the service, we'll move on. And we'll find somebody who can provide the service.
yeah,
But every week that we kick the can down the road, we don't get GPS on these graders. And I believe the majority of the people in this community believe that it would be beneficial because now they have real data. We know whether the blade's down, we know what RPM, we know what speed, we know where they are at any given time. I'm not as worried about the dump trucks at this point in time, but I am the blades.
yep, and I am too, so we need to get on them and tell them, you know, if you can't give us some hard facts and make sure.
Yeah, have him here at our next meeting.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
if they want to sell it, you'd think they'd be here.
You guys don't have a contract with them or anything, right?
No, they just got the test units on right now, still,
Okay.
that have been there for 6 months.
And why wouldn't you do everything and not just blades?
Everything? Because of the initial cost of it.
I would do the dump trucks
But-
and blades.
I'm fine with doing that,
I'm
but
just curious.
the blades are the biggest thing. Blades are what we have the most problem with
So-
in location. Linda.
So do the blade guys know how many miles they have and how much they need to get done
They have their-
approximately?
they
We
have
don't, we don't
They got their-
require a mileage that they have to get done per day, correct? No. Because if they see a problem, we want them to fix it, so we don't say, by God, you're gonna do 10 miles a day and that's
Right,
it.
but approximately?
Yeah,
I don't really believe there's an approximate.
Okay, I was just curious.
yeah. They know what their district
Operator
entails.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, up to 11.
Okay.
So this is this guy's area,
Okay,
okay? And he knows which is gravel roads, which are FAS routes, which are
Secondaries, mains.
and so like the minimum maintenance roads, have they been told how often to go down them, or?
in the past, it's been hit them in the spring before people put their animals out and plant, and in the fall, whenever they bring crops out, the animals back in. That's what's been in the past, so 2 to 3 times.
And that's, when, to get back to the problem, why we went for the, everything is minimum maintenance road now, is because there was a gentleman's agreement long, long ago that dirt roads would be done so often and minimum maintenance this often, and, yeah.
And gentlemen's agreement meaning, road and bridge guys just all went, hey, how often do we want to do
Yeah.
this?
Right.
What we're requiring is in accordance with the standards, something in writing that says this is how often you will do it. But yeah, they know their areas, they know when they're supposed to do it. The only reason I throw an emphasis, Linda, on the blades, if we can't afford to do all the dump trucks at this time, is because the blades are the ones that we get the most. I don't know that I've ever gotten a complaint on a dump truck. Dump truck couldn't come down here and dump gravel, but it's always, there hasn't been a blade past my house in 3 months. Or this road hasn't been bladed in 2 years. Those are the complaints we get. And so with this software, you and I and Mark, we will have access to be able to see what's going on at any given time through our computer. We can't change anything, they're gonna have the administrative portion of it, but we can see where the blades have gone, we can see the history, so when somebody does call, we can answer a question. He can print it out at Road and Bridge, those types of things. If we can afford to do the dump trucks, I'm fine with that.
Well, the quote that they gave us was for dump trucks and
Yeah,
blades.
I know.
I think the blades gonna be a little higher, because I don't think they had that.
The sensor for the blade.
That's
Yeah.
correct. I was gonna pull that up here.
Was that kind of budgeted for at all or not?
It was. And initially, we were gonna try to get it in before the first of the year, because there were some incentives to purchase by the end of the year, and they didn't get the information back to us, so therefore that didn't go through.
Do we know of anybody else that has this GPS, that this same company?
There's a lot of people that have GPS, there's none really that have what we're wanting, because they started off just as a GPS deal, okay? And I told them, I said, the only way I'm gonna get behind it is if we can save time and money, which out here, Road and Bridge, we get time cards from the guys, every guy turns one in, and sometimes they're 2 weeks behind, sometimes a month behind, but they get it turned in. Well, they spend 3 to 4 hours a day out there typing data. So I said, if we can go in and figure out a system that will talk to our STAR program that we use now, and we've got years and years of data in, if they can get their system to talk to our system, where the guy would be out there, instead of handwriting this out, he'd type it in on a tablet.
And just put his
hit
information
send.
in.
He's doing it anyway.
Right.
And hit send, and it would download to that system. It still have to probably look at it and say approve or not approve, that type of thing.
So they're gonna put their time in on this thing?
No.
They're gonna record the number back.
Not their time, but they call it time card, it's a work card, yes.
Yeah.
That so-and-so, I went down to this quarry and picked up inch and a quarter rock and I hauled it to this road. That's the information that is given.
And for the blades, I ran from 142 to 134, and I ran from S to X.
And it took me 2 hours, and this one took me 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that all gets in. So if their system can talk to the STAR program, that's what I'm wanting.
And that's where in December, when I talked to the gentleman at the convention, and he said, I'll get you the information, or, within 2 months we can get it, so on and so forth. Well, it's been that long and I haven't heard nothing. So if you could get him here or get him on the phone for the next meeting, it would be appreciated. That way we can talk to him, see what the heck's going on,
Yep.
and get going there. Anybody got anything else for Scott? Scott, do you have anything?
I'm good.
Oh, that one account that I asked you guys to do the credit deal for, did you guys get that done? When you look basketball for
Aaron was
So you should check with it.
That's all I got.
All right.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, did you want this back, Scott? Is that your copies are out there? All right, thank you. A lot of good information, good discussion. Thanks, guys. All right.
We're having our meeting tomorrow, our monthly meeting, tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So we should do that.
Okay.
And then we are announcing then that on February 25th, we'll be doing our defensive driving class and flagging class.
Okay.
K-Camp, or K-Works. We come in and do
What time's meeting?
that. Do it tomorrow or
Tomorrow morning?
at 7 a.m.?
7?
So what does the monthly meeting involve, and who?
It's normally all the workers come in, we talk about, projects we're on, what we're doing, how things are coming along, and then safety.
And it's something that they started when Wade took over, just to push information and get information from the employees, because they may know something that, and so it's just a way of opening up conversation about future projects they're working on, just good communication.
I believe the insurance people want us to have a monthly safety meeting anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
Just knock that out.
So you wanna go?
Just ask.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna
Do
go.
you usually go?
Well,
Well, we usually try to have one person out there.
Yeah.
and there was a resolution just done not long ago about being able to be recorded if one of you are there.
I didn't think it was if one of us were there. If it was if two of us are there, that
In the
becomes a
meeting.
quorum.
Or in a meeting.
Yeah, but if one of us is there,
I thought that even one, that's why Dan would come.
I don't think that was the trigger.
Because
We can look that up, and see.
one
And then-
of you came in a commissioner's capacity, then things could be recorded.
But that was
Only
it.
if it's, yeah, I thought it
was two,
believe,
because that'd be a quorum.
yeah.
That would be an official meeting, and we'd have to have
Chris.
Christie out there too.
I don't have it here with me,
Yeah.
So we'll
Work
have to
sessions.
look at
We'll
that.
wait till
session.
next month and see.
Yeah. Work sessions, so, are not, they're not an
Yeah.
official meeting. So like when I meet typically once a month or every other month, I meet with the management staff. So I go out there, we sit and go over different things, everybody gives kind of a report, and we talk about what can I bring back to you guys on that. So we'll set up a date on that. I'll have to look at my calendar. So see when we can meet next.
Perfect. All right,
All
thanks,
right,
Scott.
thanks.
Thank you.
John? How you doing?
Good, how you guys doing?
Great.
Pardon me. John Gordy, my name.
Working?
Yes,
Yeah.
Gordy. I live at 11591 H Road, over in today's district. And
11591.
11591.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And I'd just like to talk to you today about the proposed solar project, Jeffrey Solar Project, because I think it's really hard for people to wrap their heads around the scale of this project. And I'd like to provide you with a regional example of an installation down in southeast Kansas. I've got an aerial picture of it, so you can just get an idea of what the size of this proposed project is.
Okay.
Because they can talk acres and they can talk megawatts generated, but until you see the number of panels and these sorts of things, you really don't have an idea of the scale of this project. So,
Now, I'm gonna interject something here.
Yes.
So, right now, it is out of our hands. It's, okay, so you understand it's in the planning board's hands?
absolutely.
Okay, all right.
And I mean,
And I'll take all the information I can get, so yeah.
when the planning board is done, it comes back to you.
Yes,
And when the
recommendation.
recommendations, and then when the permits or the application process goes through, it comes back to you or the planning board, is that correct?
Well, yeah, there'd be a special use permit that they would request, they would have to go to the
And,
planning
and,
commission.
It would go to the
Yeah.
planning board.
yeah, and I do have a pretty good idea of the scope and the scale.
Okay.
I visited, went to Iowa and
Mhm.
visited a project that is in phase 2, because I wanted to lay eyes on what it looked like.
Sure, how big was it?
Phase 2 was gonna be another 1,000 acres, I think, don't quote me on this, I don't have the
Do you-
numbers,
do you-
but
do
a
you
couple
have any
thousand
idea?
acres.
Do you have any idea what the generation capacity was?
I don't, it's not in front of me.
It was
big. It was very similar to what has been proposed here.
Okay.
And it, like I said, it was in phase 2 when I went there. So meaning that the first phase, they'd already had arrays up, and so that was why I wanted to, I just drove up and I wanted to drive and lay eyes on it for
Sure.
myself. So it was eye-opening.
I bet. Here, just like to provide you guys.
Thank you.
This is an installation
Thank you.
put up by Evergy Energy Solutions in conjunction with the Monarch Cement Company down in Humboldt, Kansas, down in southeast Kansas. What you see there is 20 megawatts worth of generation on 92 acres. Now, the proposed development is going to be 500 megawatts in southeast Jackson County. That's what the Jeffrey Solar Project is going to be. So it's going to take 25 of these installations to make their goal.
And I'll ask you a question right here.
Yes, sir.
The proposed 500 megawatts, proposed 5,000 acre, okay?
Right?
And what we want to do is limit it to no more than 2,000 acres in Jackson County. So that kind of cuts everything that you're seeing here down, correct?
I mean, it cuts down, okay, so 2,000 acres, technically, if you do the math on that, at 20 megawatts on a little bit less than 100 acres, that's going to be 2,500 acres. So it's right around your $2,000 limit. I mean, pardon me, 2,000 acre limit.
Right.
But if they wanted to expand, there's nothing saying they couldn't get another permit.
Yes, there is.
I mean,
We want
can
to
say
limit
that.
it, yes. We want to limit it to 2,000 acres in the county, no more.
Okay.
Total. Not per CP or not per project, but 2,000 acres. And I think that we want to go back, I want to bring that up later as far as looking at that, because I think the language is wrong. I was reading over the language in the regs that we sent over, so I'll look at
That
that.
is not, I mean, technically that's per permit.
Yeah, and that's not what our intent was. So, but anyway,
Okay.
go ahead, I didn't mean to.
No, that's great. That's good to know that I'm pleased that you want to limit to 2,000 acres within the county. I still think when you look at this, the first thing in the regulations as they're written right now is the visual impact when considering it. It's what section 2(1)A is the visual impact. And right here you have 20 megawatts of generation on 92 acres. So there's still plenty of generation that can be done in 2,000 acres, but the visual impact is pretty substantial, would you say? I mean.
Sure.
So, just something to consider.
Okay.
And other than that, if you have any questions for me.
I think so.
I can't think of anything. Are you going to provide this to the planning commission also at their public meeting? Or attach this to the, we do have a form.
I filled some out. So
Okay, and did you attach this to the form?
I did
or-
not attach this to the form because this was separate in the form. The way it was written, it seemed to be asking about certain sections of the
Okay.
regulations, so I limited my comments to that.
Would it be okay if I shared this with the
So
member of the
I
planning
brought
commission?
this
That
to
way
the
they've got
last,
it?
I brought this to the last couple of meetings, and we haven't been given an opportunity to speak in regards to
Yeah,
the
that's what they've
project.
been work
right now.
session, yes.
I know the work session, but I was
Yep.
at the general meeting before, and this wasn't brought up, and that's fine. We
Yeah.
weren't ready to talk about it.
Right,
So, but I mean, yes, I plan to provide this to the planning commission.
okay, perfect.
But if you would like to, you're more than welcome to as well.
Okay.
But I'll bring this and I can
I'll share
attach
this
it, I can
with
attach
members.
it to one of the feedback forms
Okay.
as well.
Perfect.
All right?
All right, so I can't think of anything else. Thank you for the information, I certainly appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
You want a copy of that?
I have some more copies if you would like.
She can make,
Copy.
or,
Take
yeah,
some more if you want.
Okay, yeah.
save paper.
Yeah, it's already printed up.
Save time.
That's right. Save time.
All right.
Thanks.
She wastes
Yeah,
all the
okay.
copies anyway. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys.
Hi, Kate.
Kate, did you have something?
I forwarded you all some emails, or you received another email from Delbert.
I got one.
I got one. Did you forward it to the commissioners or to us individual?
Well, the Delbert's is not, I haven't forwarded anything, he said he talked to you.
I haven't talked to him. I mean, the only thing he sent me an email and I responded to it, to his questions.
So.
But what I'm saying is, when you forwarded it, was it to the commissioners?
The one, yeah.
The Anderson one? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. I got that on commissioners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Which I'm sorry to see that, a lot of the things that it,
And do you have any indication of why? I mean, I'm reading the one that says, let me know if you have any questions. It just says he's level-headed and he didn't give any indication.
Well, just in that letter.
in the letter.
Yeah.
If you read the letter,
So.
did you see it? I mean, have you found it?
I have not.
Here, I'll
Did
forward
you,
it to you right
did you
now.
move it somewhere? It's in the inbox.
I'll forward it to
So
you.
click right up there. Right there. Leave it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You sent the
You got
letter
it?
in an
Yeah.
attachment.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
there.
I thought
It's
this was
in-
an
no, it's an
email
attachment.
Okay.
from
Right,
him.
it's in there.
Okay,
Read that.
thank you. I feel like Dan.
Oh, gee. I might be that way, watch it.
Yeah, if you take a quick second to read it.
Yeah, I
Like I said, some of the things that were in there, I'm not quite sure.
Delbert resigned as well.
In,
I haven't forwarded that email to you because I asked him if he wanted to, do a formal letter. And I was waiting on
are there any more on there who are not meeting their obligations?
that.
As far as attendance?
I mean, if you look at the attendance, it says unexcused. So, I mean, it just depends on what you consider
Okay.
unacceptable or not, so.
All right.
Yeah, I guess in skimming over this letter, I'm surprised that if he feels so passionate about this, the template or the draft that they have, their board has the choice to either take it up or not take it up. And if they don't choose to pass it, that's great, perfect, rock on.
Yeah.
Why do they not see, I mean, it is now in their hands to take up. They can either choose to fine tune it, they can choose to not do anything with it. That's up to them. Has that been explained to them?
Would you like me to explain further to them that it is now up to them?
I would, because it appears in the two emails that I've gotten, it appears they don't understand their responsibility. It has nothing to do with us. We created a document that is simply a draft, which was there to save them time. Now that it has gone to them, they're not required in any way, shape, or form.
Specifically which one?
Pardon me?
Are you talking about the graveyards or the?
Solar.
Solar.
Yeah.
They can tear that.
Either one, I mean,
They
actually.
can delete everything after the resolution and.
Start
Start
over.
over.
They don't even have to take it up. I mean,
I don't know if they're required to take it up at all, except for whatever
Right.
duty they think they have to.
we have fulfilled, I believe, an obligation of saving them time in meetings by giving them a draft. If they don't like the draft, if they don't want to use the draft, they don't have to use it. It was simply to help them move along in this process.
And save
If
the
they don't-
county money.
If they don't want to, if they don't want to move this process ahead, that's well within that board's right.
Yeah, they can, yeah, if there is a number
So-
of members who don't want any solar,
Yeah.
say, we're not gonna pass any
And
rates.
so if any solar company comes to your office and says, I want to apply for a special use permit, what happens,
We don't allow it.
right? They would have to take that up with the zoning and planning board and say, are you going to take this up? If they choose not to, I don't have the authority to tell them to.
Yeah, the answer is, there's no mechanism for them to get a special use permit.
Correct.
There's no special use permit format.
That is correct.
So they could say, well, we fit within industrial guidelines, maybe, I don't know, but, as an industrial zone, you want to change the zone to industrial, can they do that? Could they work it that way? I don't know, it probably couldn't mechanically, so I think it's dead at that, so.
I think if they did that if they didn't take it up and they had no regulations at all, and they went to the planning commission and just said, we want to change this ag land to industrial to put up solar. I think personally, that would be the worst mistake that the planning commission could make, the zoning and planning could make, by not having regulations, because then any of the safeguards that we have tried to
They wouldn't have to,
install.
they wouldn't have to rezone it either.
No, they wouldn't, but if they did rezone it, if they said, sure, get it out of ag land, put it in industrial, if they did
Again,
rezone that,
That's a decision they
that's a
didn't make.
decision, but that's what I'm saying, I think that would be a disservice to the county, because then the regulations and the safeguards that we have tried to put in place with the regulations that we gave to them.
You would
Put it on.
agree, those regulations that we gave are simply a draft.
Yep.
So I'm not sure of these emails, where they're getting their information and how they're deducing that this is a done deal.
Yeah,
Makes no sense to
I don't
me.
understand that.
and maybe that's, I could send something to them and just, we haven't had a chance to coordinate a meeting because of my schedule and everything, and that's probably my fault on anything, but, that's. if
I would
you
encourage-
say that.
Yeah, I guess, Kate, from your standpoint, maybe, I would go back and reach out to both these through the phone and say, look, I would encourage them not to resign and explain what their responsibility is. Maybe they're not, maybe they don't understand what their authority and responsibility they have. Because I would think this guy would want to stay on there.
Yeah,
Right, exactly,
It makes no sense
yeah.
that he wouldn't want to stay on there.
yeah.
So that would be my suggestion. And I said the same, I said that to Delbert in an email. Delbert, you should stay on there. But if he doesn't want to, I'm not gonna force him to, we'll fill the position.
Yep.
That's the idea that, there is, if you can't get a number of people who just say, it's perfectly legitimate for them to say, we're not doing it at all. If you can't get the number of people behind that, and the majority want to develop this, then yeah, they can't, once you go into the zone of we're working on something, and we're not gonna just drop it, then maybe that's, they may be frustrated, but that's how this works.
Right.
The majority determines how they're gonna go, and I'm just trying to say that if there is a majority of folks who just wanna say, we're not doing this.
That's up to them.
That's up to them.
But if there's a majority who wants to, well, this is a good start, but, or maybe not even a good start, we're writing it all from scratch.
And it disappoints me that a couple of board members would look at this as a one-issue thing. Being a board member on that board encompasses a whole lot more than just one issue. We need competent people who are willing to be at the meetings, know the information for things, like private cemeteries, or rezoning something else, or if another industry comes in here. And to make this a one-issue thing seems very short-sighted on their part.
The thing I'm thinking of here is that if I'm against it and I can't,
Great.
I can't convince everybody else that I'm right, and then I wanna be there to make sure whatever comes out of that thing
Right.
is as good as it can be to protect people. And that's, I don't understand that
So,
mentality.
Yeah, I don't,
yeah.
but whatever. So, thoughts? I see the wheel spinning.
Yeah, so considering the legal environment that we're currently in,
Being sued by people who are throwing out,
you want,
Yeah.
you want me to give them advice on how to,
Or I have no problem putting that in a, if we just need to get it out, I can put it in a letter to them, just saying exactly what we said here. Would that do it? Okay,
it would.
all right.
Okay,
Done.
great. We'll handle it. All right.
Do you have anything else for me?
I don't think so.
Okay. The minimum maintenance, I'm sorry, the minimum maintenance road list,
Yes.
It's still in discussion.
okay.
Well, the one that's currently, that we passed, you can move ahead with it, but we have a few roads that we're taking off that for future.
So
I have not given her a copy of the resolution yet, but I can now.
the planning commission will have something, for the March meeting that will be a public hearing. Does this need to be a public hearing thing where they approve or agree with that resolution, however it needs to be?
That resolution doesn't go to them.
For the minimum maintenance roads, no.
Something about an agreement, they have to agree or that they've approved it or what?
Not on the minimum maintenance.
There's a statute out there.
Hold on.
Not that you were, I was aware of. We'll let Todd do some research.
There was another
We
one.
transmit copies of the resolution to the planning commission. Lake County, that's the way it reads wrong.
So there was another one that was discovered here this weekend on 182nd Road.
That should be or
Could
shouldn't.
possibly not be a road at all or a minimum maintenance. One of the two.
So something that needs to be added?
Or
Sounds like
the,
researched.
yeah, and I gave it to Scott.
Perfect.
R4 to S, in between R4 and S. It appears on our map, we still have the right of way because it hasn't been vacated.
100 block.
It's R4 to S.
182nd.
182nd.
R4, yes, yeah.
Yeah. The map, it doesn't even show a road, but some of those minimum maintenance roads can not show up as a road at all.
So it may be a road that we need to, by resolution, close, not vacate.
Right. And I don't know if it has been closed or not, but on our map, it's showing gravel, and that's obviously not correct, so he's gonna look at that, whether it needs to be a minimum maintenance or not, that would be a question.
Okay.
And I don't know if that would need to be added to a list or resolved somehow, but.
All right.
Well, the statute says that when you make the determination that they are declared minimum maintenance roads, the board shall adopt a resolution and transmit copies thereof to the planning commission of the county for its recommendation. So all you have, I mean, that doesn't say that they have approval power. I think that, to my mind, it would be that the planning commission could recommend additions, like you have right now, that there's things you missed. It does, I don't read that as saying it has the ability to vote up or down.
Yeah, I just took it as they provided a copy.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
could come back and say, you know, you ought to add these and take these out.
Okay.
So I would just give them a copy of that resolution and the list of the roads, and
Yeah.
that's it. They don't need to take action on anything.
No action, you can just
Per
say,
statute, we are required to give you this list.
yeah. That,
Easy enough?
yeah, probably,
I would assume that part of the reason would be for their future planning, if somebody comes in and says, I want
That
to
would
build
be,
here,
that'd
they
be the
would,
only thing I could
they
think
they
of.
would have that current information on roads that aren't currently gravel,
Yeah.
whether it could withstand
Yeah.
that kind of traffic, that type of thing.
There needs to be some sort of road agreement to gravel it to get it up to
Yep.
county standards for that.
Yep.
All right,
All right,
thank you.
thank you.
All right,
Let's take a 5-minute recess and wait on.
thank you. Dan, how are you?
Good.
What's up, buddy?
How are y'all?
Great.
Questions? Todd?
How you doing?
We know.
I know the sheep look good.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, the whole, getting them on the dump trucks and stuff, we just never had any options. Because those guys are running together.
Okay, maybe not one.
They're typically get.
Slow down.
I don't mind having it on
I
there.
just think that sort of rare operators, they're being singled out.
They are,
I know, but I just.
in a good way,
I just mean,
yeah.
to
Yeah,
either
I know.
kind of keep
Yeah.
peace and keep it,
Yeah. We got one guy that he disabled one on a dump truck.
oh, was it?
Within minutes of calling in the dump truck. And so if that happens again, he was told if that happens again, be terminated.
Right.
Jeff County has had GPS on the blades, I don't know about their dump trucks, but you know the blades, they've had it for years. The side benefit is being able to, they each have an iPad that you just put in the miles and that information that is shared with,
Right,
which will save many
right.
man hours, may not be utilized.
Which is what they tell me they have, what, Mary's out there full-time right now?
Just, yeah, on a part-time basis, but every day, yeah. But because so much of that was not, when Linda was there was no problem, she kept it up to date. And then it got behind, and now they're playing catch-up. So the goal is to have Mary help get caught up. And if we do this, again, technology helps keep from having to hire another employee.
True.
I mean, that's what we did
Should be a good deal.
when we bought the Eagle View software for Kate's office. I mean, $30,000 is way cheaper than hiring an employee, and it's more efficient. And it kept people from getting bit, going out, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of the thought process. And as we get newer employees, the technology doesn't.
No, that's just it.
You know, we've got some guys that are
Right,
challenged.
I got you. Understand.
I'll be back. Hey, how are you?
We need blankets too. It's cold.
I am cold.
Blankets?
My feet are cold.
It's hot in here.
You guys are just about right now.
My feet
Dave.
have nothing to do.
How you doing?
I'm all right, yourself, sir?
Good.
So they moved that to get one half for sale, they moved that back to do that.
What's up between people? She keeps getting all over.
Because she moved from there and went out to the rental.
I sent you an email that
And she
convinced
moved back to do it.
Pastor me about
I mean, I suppose we didn't sell
just
it.
give him give the man an email so quit trying to.
It doesn't matter. It's just-
Okay. I'll
He
turn
just
in my
said-
appearance.
Yeah, is it? Dude, I don't know.
I got the, form signed Friday.
On all of them or just,
How's your wife doing?
okay.
Good days, bad days.
So is she able to work?
No. She's not even driving.
Oh gosh.
So, yeah. Another ologist appointment next week. I took her to one last week. About 6 of them. Hopefully try to figure out where they're going. Thanks for asking, I appreciate it.
Oh, sure.
And to add that in, my mom's not well either. So.
Oh,
Is she still in the hospital?
No, she's out, but she doesn't know me most of the time. And, she's lethargic a lot.
But, you know, she goes to the doctor, twice a week for various things, and it's just at the point that where we're making her comfortable. Home health's coming in, hospice not yet, but, you know, we're dealing with it. I just want to make sure she's comfortable and not in pain.
Right, makes it
You
right.
know, she's picking weight back up because we've made some adjustments. You know, it's always something. You know, it is. It's a lot to deal with.
All right, back in session now. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for matters of attorney-client privilege due to possible litigation with Mr. Cooper. We'll introduce yourself here in a little bit. Mr. Luckman, the clerk, Dan Brenner, and the commissioners.
I move we go into executive session for the purpose of attorney-client privilege and for possible litigation to start at, how long did you want?
10:40.
10:40? Start at 10:40, and how long did you want, Mr. Chairman?
Got a recommendation?
23 minutes.
Let's go
Let's
30
do
minutes.
30, okay. So we would return at 11:10 to include commissioners, former Commissioner Brenner, clerk, Mr. Cooper, and our attorney.
I second the motion.
Moved and
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded.
Hold on, start
I
dying.
know. It's been properly moved and seconded to go into to executive session for attorney-client privilege. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Well, since I don't hear very well, it's all right if I
Approach.
Linda, I noticed you're sitting closer to Mark. Is there a reason? Is he breathing fire or something?
I moved the phone
Oh,
down to
okay.
this side instead of that side.
He's breathing fire over there.
They're amending the motion to add Scott, so you know.
Okay, amending to include Scott, if that motion, that motion.
Because they are standing by the insisting that there be no traffic enforcement
Kansas City.
on, or serves a civil process
Yeah.
on the reservation.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's, no, we're not gonna do that.
It will be.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right, Dan, thank you very much.
Excuse?
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thank you. Here's,
Nice to meet you, Dave.
Nice to meet you.
this has got my email.
I was gonna go online, actually.
What? Okay. I don't think they're gonna make it. Let's see. I don't think they're gonna make it. See you all. Thank you.
Dan, before you go, you want to stay on the AAA?
Yeah, yes, I never actually resigned, and they remind me of that because they don't want me to leave.
Okay.
And I have a meeting next week. They asked, and I said, sure, because
Does anyone have any objection to Dan staying on the AAA?
I do.
Okay.
I've been
Linda?
engaged with that for a long time, and
I appreciate you,
Sure.
appreciate you wanting to stay on. That helps out a lot.
there's only 3 of them.
So, thank you.
There's only 3 boards up there, so
All right.
I'm crawling back up. I'm up to 4
Thanks,
now.
sir.
See ya.
All right, we'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, here we have a public notice for the pollution, or water pollution discharge. There's only one vendor, that's Albright Stem Idelia. Got a thank you card from Dan. So do we need a motion to keep Dan on, or just
I just put it in
consensus?
general consensus.
Okay, perfect. All right, and I have here, Scott had called me last week. They got a settlement offer from the insurance company on the Strawson Bridge.
Yeah, just so I can,
$11,713.64, it's $500 less than what they said. I said, go for it, let's get it settled, get it done.
I would agree.
So he sent that off, so there's that we'll look at too.
And is this something?
see you.
It's just informational purposes only.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, we have some official minutes from January the 13th, I'll pass down. Todd, did you have anything else?
The one thing you gave me the, Banner Creek kind of stuff.
Oh, for the
Rental
building?
rates,
What?
the rental
For the
agreement.
Yeah, the rental agreement. Well, I guess I'd just say I looked at it and I would like to recreate the whole thing.
I'd say there's some discrepancies in here, I kind of think that, I don't think it's quite
And
right.
let me tell you what I've seen in the past. I've got a number of cities that have community rooms, you know, to rent. So I've got a form of agreement that I worked up. So I think there's like 3 things here that you really need. Maybe that is what I call the license agreement, which is the use agreement they would sign, that is a contract. You would have separate rules that would just be, you know, attached to this is the rules that people follow, like no tape on the walls, that kind of thing. It's not really, you know, needs to be a contract, and besides, they can change, then they can change that exhibit, they don't have to worry about changing the contract, right?
Correct.
And then the third one being the alcohol issue, you know, what are they doing? Because I think some of it depends on, you know, they obviously can't sell unless they got a temporary permit, which is fine, you know, that can be just basically, you get a, I don't know, you guys don't have, do you have a permit, a temporary permit you have to do? Don't make a face while
We
you're.
don't want them to do that.
Okay. All right, well, I just gotta figure it out. Because I'd rather they do it right than they not, you know.
Yes,
they
I mean,
have-
like, if somebody's gonna rent the building and have a beer garden, then you gotta come out and get the permit and so on. and so
Yeah,
forth.
well, you have, each part, you know, there's maybe they have a caterers, somebody has a caterer's permit,
Yeah,
they come out there, caterer's permit, that's fine too. It's just that you can't, and then the question becomes, if you have an event and you bring your own stuff, and you don't sell it, kind of what the rules are, for that, because you don't need a liquor license to do that, I don't think, as long as you don't sell it.
Correct. I wouldn't think so, I mean, like beer, I mean,
You can give it away all you want, but you just
yeah,
can't sell it.
can't sell it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, and then, but there's still kind of a question of what kind of things you want going on down there, so you don't, nothing gets out of hand, right?
Well, then, yeah, if you're recommending you rewrite that, I would say go ahead and do it and get that started. We'll go from there.
So can I ask you a question,
Sure.
Joe? So on this he has a cancellation policy here. Within 60 days of the reservation results in no refund of any rental fee. He has that on just like a standard day, and a wedding is like 30 days. Why is there a difference?
Maybe that should have been 6 days instead of 60 days.
See, he's got
Yeah.
60 days here and 30 days here.
I think probably is this question of opportunity, there's, opportunity cost of people, if there's nothing to it, they'll block off dates, flood the zone.
Yeah.
Right, you only got one building, right?
Yes.
So, by keeping that length of time, you're gonna have at least, somebody's gonna be serious about it. So I've seen that in campgrounds, that they just, like 4th of July, they automatically sign up, right? So, but they're not really serious about it.
Yeah.
They're just testing. So, but you're right, I think a wedding, I would think, that would be 60 days if it was anything.
Right,
You
it's
don't-
got 30 days on it.
Yeah,
And the other one is just, and the other one's got 60 days.
I would say that would probably be reversed almost, but at least it's 60.
And you might give Kurt a call and ask him what his reasoning is on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak for what he was thinking.
And then this might be picky too, but I live out there part of the time, summertime.
Sure.
So it has, girls may be brought in and used, but cannot be placed on the patio or gravel areas only. Is there gravel out? I didn't go out that back door. The patio is right there and stuff, I
Yeah,
understand.
It's just a patio area.
If you're having a reception or something and you've got people coming with their grills to do stuff, you're not gonna want them out in front here in the gravel, you're gonna wanna
No.
put it out back somewhere. And that's not gonna allow it. I mean, if there's no
Right.
gravel or anything out there.
And there is no gravel out there, it's just a back patio, but I don't know why, other than grease stains, I mean, that's the only thing.
Yeah, I think it'd be more of a conversation with Kurt. if you want
I
Kurt
know,
to
but
do
that's
that.
in his
That's
regulations
in there,
here.
so yeah.
I mean, that's,
Well, I think, for that part of it, I'm not gonna be very helpful, so
right.
I
But
would
just
say if
think,
you wanna start like a rules list,
if I'm having a wedding reception or something, I
Yeah.
want my girls sitting out front where people's coming in, they're gonna want stuff out back, and there's no
Yeah.
gravel out there.
No,
I mean, I know
It'd be
it's,
my suggestion we have Kurt come in next week.
Yeah,
Or
talk to him.
Friday morning when we do bills.
yeah.
and
Because like I said, I think probably what he's worried about on there is grease stains,
I
heat grills,
understand,
and
right.
so on and
You
so
don't
Fire
want
forth.
the
hazard,
grass catch on fire, but yet
Yeah,
it's not, if you're really doing a reception, that's not how you
Yeah.
want it.
okay, so I'm doing the contract and you guys are doing the rules.
that'll work.
I mean, you're supposed to check it off the fair buildings. Is that where this came from?
Well, I mean, even up here, they don't put the grill, Saturday
Right.
night for the,
Right.
Livestock Association.
Right.
The grill's gonna be out back on the patio, so it'll be
Where it's
Out on the grass.
convenient to
Yeah.
come in and out.
coming in and out, so.
Anyway, whatever. That was just something I saw.
That was
All
all
right,
I
so yeah,
had.
so if you wanna work on that, and we'll get the rules straightened out with Kurt and go from there.
Anything else I need to do for you guys before I head out?
I can't think of anything. You
Okay.
guys?
I can't think of anything.
Set certified.
Christie.
Just certified report.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Yes, please. All right, we got a couple payroll changes here. Have some lawn use permit requests from the chamber, one for Saturday, May 24th, Glory Days. Saturday, October 11th for Fall Fest. And Friday, August 1st for Cruise Night.
Okay, but this says, on Mary says full-time status, but it's full-time
Full-time?
Part-time. It's not a full-time status, so
Right
she's
now-
not getting benefits and,
Right now, she's working 40 hours, so right now, she's at a full-time status.
She's full-time status for a temporary, so temporary needs to be checked on her somewhere too. okay?
temporary
Because
job.
this says full-time Monday through Friday up here, how it's checked, it says full-time status.
Right,
But it's,
but that's what I'm saying, it should be.
but it's not really.
Yeah, it needs to
No,
be,
Thank you.
I mean, when is the end date for Mary?
When we talked before, it's like 3 or 4 weeks, about getting somebody from labor max.
So instead of full-time Monday through Friday, it should be part-time 20 hours plus.
I just marked it how it's called.
Right.
full market.
Wouldn't
So
that
20
be?
hours plus.
No, because she's working 40 hours right now, so as long
But
as she's
part-time
working-
20 hours plus is, but she's not a full-time employee, she's a part-time employee.
Because it's like, even if she's working 40 hours, when it's caught
Under-
up, she's supposed to be finished, right?
Part-time Monday through Friday, 20 plus hours.
That's how it started with it. And then Mary called him, having him change it because of has something to do with the benefits.
Well, if she's a part-time employee, just because she's working 40 hours doesn't mean that she's going to get benefits, right?
Well, she's still gonna have health insurance, she's still gonna have, if you're working anything over 32 hours, you get benefits.
Then, yeah, that wasn't my understanding.
Yeah.
She was not going to be a benefits receiving employee. This was just to pay her some extra and help us get caught up in between now and her next job. So it needs to be less than 32 hours.
Time needs to be controlled, because, but you never intended for her to be
A full-time
No.
employee.
Because originally you were going to labor max.
Right.
Correct.
But it was gonna be probably 40 hours a week for a few weeks.
Until it got caught up.
Right.
Right. Even
So
though-
that's what I say, so part-time, I mean, designated at part-time Monday through Friday, 20 plus hours is what I would
But I would say,
designate it as.
go ahead.
But if she's working over the 32 hours, that puts her into benefits.
Let's
Do I need to cut her back then?
Yes.
reach out to HR and maybe make sure.
So let's hold off on this then.
Well, I think it's correct to say, if you guys ever officially designated her as being a full-time employee, yeah.
She
If
is
your
not.
intention was that she was hired to be 20, and some reason that has been exceeded, then I don't think
Well,
she's,
originally it was 20 plus.
well, if it's 20 plus, I understand, but if she gets up to 40, I'm with Christie, at a certain point, you guys have by, you know, that function and signing off on her payroll, she's become a full-time employee.
Right.
So if this is your control, you're saying now, no, we didn't mean that. We didn't mean, we meant less than 32. Maybe that needs to be reformed.
And she can't be contract labor because we're the only ones she does this for.
So that, we're talking, we're walking on a fine line here, and this is where you stop. You know.
I mean, she was a former employee, so was she off any time in
No.
between?
She
Was
started that.
done on Friday and started there on Monday.
I mean, I don't know if that makes any difference or.
Well, if she's not working for anybody else, then, I think that's,
I'm just saying, it was never discussed. she'd
So
be
I'm
full-time.
curious,
Yeah.
so it says for payroll notice change, down here at the bottom, it says for definitions of these classifications, see the back of this paper.
Hate to make it a
Okay, well, the reason I'm saying that, I'm just curious,
that's what I like.
I'm just curious what the definitions are, if there is anything in these that says,
Well, the personnel manual says that. That's what, probably what, it says what a full-time employee is, what a part-time employee is. And I think maybe that, if that form isn't exactly coinciding with that, maybe the form is what's the problem,
Yeah.
because the policy should win, right? But this is a standard throughout, is that 32 plus is usually provided. Right, if you're over 32 hours, you're full-time.
even if you were hired for a 3-month basis,
Well,
part-time.
I'm saying that at some point, you guys have perfectly happy with you guys saying, here's the record where you said she's 20 hours, she's part-time.
Oh,
And then the second one, if you start
well,
going,
as far as the payroll.
she's
thing.
40, 40, 40, you got to prove payrolls, she's working 40 hours. Pretty soon that argument isn't going to cut big. So,
Okay,
It's the bottom line.
I understand that, but if we specifically say that we are hiring her for a 2-month period, 40 hours a week,
Yeah, like.
part-time, a part-time position, 40 hours a week for this specific time period, and she is not a full-time employee, because she's gonna be gone in 2 months.
seasonal or temporary, I think that's,
Thank you.
yeah, that has to be managed.
Okay, well, there's seasonal there's temporary part-time, there's part-time Monday through Friday, 20+ hours. By specifying her as full-time, I think that's the wrong one to check. I think specifying her as part-time,
Well, if she's
Monday
gonna
through
have
Friday.
40 hours by labor laws, there's certain laws we have to follow.
And that's where I'm getting this to, is that there's,
And I think
temporary
that was Mary's
part-time.
concern when she.
So
brought
then
this
You
if
up.
don't have a temporary full-time.
So maybe you shouldn't let her work 40 hours a week.
Yes.
Maybe you need
Yeah.
to cut it back to
Yeah, you got, that's
so
where you're
many
supposed
hours
to
to
be.
make it right.
Yeah, you're supposed to be managing her so that it's not 40 hours. And not putting them in a position.
Or, let me ask you this, we threw this out there, because I understand the labor law is 40 hours, okay? 32, 40, whatever. But then, so if we hire her as a, part-time, Monday through Friday, 20+ hours, and we figure out what a 40-hour check would be and put her as a salary for those 2 months, does that fix that?
Well, I don't think you can do retroactive, but if you at the front of it, you say on a salary basis.
From this point forward, she's on salary she's gonna get paid for this many hours, or her salary's gonna be this much per 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
This much per 2 weeks, she's gonna work 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and then she's done.
well, I think you can only do that, you can only salary her and exempt her from that hourly count if she's an administrative employee. Or a
Or a
direct.
contract employee, or,
Well, a contract employee is different too, she's not an employee, she's an independent contractor. So, I think we're all dancing around the same thing, in that I think really what you got, the care that's got to be taken is somebody, she should have been at 20 hours if you really wanted to put the clamp on, because you don't want some, I just don't think you want somebody working 40 hours.
less than 20 hours,
who's
plus
part-time.
more than 20.
It's labor law. 'Cause they-
That's what's on the back of that sheet, that's
Okay,
on the back of that sheet.
So,
Okay, so these employees normally work part-time, 20+ hours, right? Set schedule on a regular and continuing basis. These employees normally work 20 or more hours per week and at least 1,000 hours per year. She's not gonna hit that trigger. So they would not receive sick leave, vacation. If they're not gonna hit the 1,000 hours, they wouldn't receive sick leave, vacation, tapered retirement, or be eligible for health insurance, would they? If they're not gonna hit both triggers?
yeah, I think you probably, the real issue, the labor law issue is overtime. Not necessarily benefits. And so she's not, but yeah.
All right, so then I would say just knock her back to 20 hours and call it good then,
Yeah.
because we're not gonna pay insurance capers, nothing
Or
like
10
that.
hours at least, so she's 30.
30, yeah.
30 hours.
Okay.
So you don't trigger anything.
All right. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So then, we'll change this to
I think they've already got one up there.
part-time, 20 hours a week, 20+ hours a week.
We can already have one.
That's what I originally turned in, was a part-time, 4 hours a
She probably
So-
got rid of that one
week.
already.
Then they called me back later and said me do this.
Okay, because I thought we already signed something, so this
Yeah.
was, so we don't even need
We
this.
don't get to need this one then.
Bye, Todd.
Don't put that away.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
We do executive sessions, about employee performance for about 10 minutes.
I'll entertain a motion for an executive session for employee performance.
I move we go into executive session.
Non-elected personnel employee.
Purpose of non-elected personnel matters, employee performance, starting at 11:31, ending at 11:41. Scott, commissioners, and our clerk.
I'll second it.
Okay, properly moved and seconded to go into executive session for matters of non-elected personnel and employee performance. Any more discussion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, so once again, here is courthouse lawn permits for the chamber for Glory Days, Fall Fest, and Cruise Night. We don't need to approve these, just general consensus, right?
Yes.
We need to approve them.
You need to approve it.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the lawn building use request for the chamber on Saturday, May 24th, 2025, Glory Days, Saturday, October 11th, 2025, Fall Fest, and Friday, August 1st, 2025, Cruise Night.
So
Look at them.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve all three of the chamber's requests for the lawn building use permits. All in any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
And Mr. Chairman, I have two things, whenever you want those, you tell, let me know. Two minor details. Christie, was this report something you were gonna go over today, or just for information?
It's just for information.
Thank you.
Unless you want to go through it, we can't get it now. It just gives you a detailed sheet date of what the balances are.
Okay.
And all the disbursements have gone out and everything, correct?
Well, the 31st isn't yet,
Okay.
but you have encumbrances on there, so that's going to be what bills we have entered thus far.
Okay. Perfect.
but she did her tax distribution, so we have to.
The only thing I saw in there was the ARPA, that reimbursement, road repair and Friends of Banner Creek just need to be deleted out, or did we talk about
I
that?
just haven't
Yeah.
got that far
Okay.
yet.
All right.
I think we talked about that.
And the special parks and recreation. And then we have special alcohol fund. The alcohol is for, treatment and those types of things. That's what's in there. And then the 31 is the special, what we'll spend for the ballparks and stuff. Okay. And that accrues every month, correct? Or do you get it
Yes.
quarterly?
It's quarterly.
Is
Is
it
it quarterly? Okay. So there'll be additional money coming into that before March or at the end of March. And then the only other thing, the fireman banquet, I don't know that we ever set a date for that. I talked to one of the fire chiefs and he preferred a January, February, because that's when the least amount of calls would come in.
Mhm.
It would be those 2 months.
Yeah, I don't think, did they want us to set a date, or,
I think we set a date for it
okay?
and they just work it into their schedule. So I'm thinking February seems, first 1 or 2 weeks of February.
That would be fine with me, let's see.
We just need to develop some,
And when would we have that, during the week?
I think Pat said we usually did it on Wednesday, is that what she said?
according. And we would just use the new banquet hall out there.
So if that's the case, the February 5th is open, which doesn't give us much time to put it together. The 12th is a conservation district dinner.
Okay, but back up. Pat
Yeah.
has to send stuff out to her
Yeah.
fire people to
That's-
nominate somebody and
I
that's
thought she was
And
gonna
then
do
you
that.
have to,
I'm thinking, we're thinking of,
of next year,
26.
26.
I was
Oh,
thinking,
okay, all right, all right.
That's what
we
I'm
gotta
saying.
develop
You
some
can't do it.
rules and,
Yeah,
I mean,
All right,
that quick.
thank you.
that type of thing. Matter of fact, I think Pat's up there, she wanna run down real quick? Because I'd like for her to develop kind of the,
Criteria?
yeah, just, we'll I think if each fire district has or believes they have somebody they want to nominate, they can do so. We only may have 3 districts nominate, and then we'll pick from those.
Okay. All right. Thank goodness, because I was thinking, man, this
I was gonna say, there's
all
no
the
way.
turnaround.
No.
Yeah, he was just saying that if we do it, it would be in the month of January or February. They don't want to be during the grass season.
And it might be better in January, February, you have your Farm Bureau stuff and you have your Hall of Fame stuff and, I don't know, maybe not. It's hard to say. So, maybe,
More easy.
yes.
Sales tax was up. Over
Hey, Matt.
51,000.
How are you?
Good, how are you
Hey,
guys?
Great.
Good.
Thanks for coming down.
You're welcome.
So we were talking about the firemen's
Back with
appreciation dinner. Do you have established criteria already for the awards? Just, you know, you're just gonna send out a thing to all of the,
Yeah, we've got a Firefighters Association meeting in the middle of February, so I'm going to show them the form again. If they're fine with it, that's when I'm gonna bring it up to you.
okay,
You okay?
perfect. We were discussing that and
I'd like
I
to
was
get
gonna
it
do
on
it next February, or this February, and they were like,
Yeah,
no.
No, yeah,
I'd
this
like to get it
Feb-
on the calendar, though.
yeah.
Like for January, February next year is what they
Yeah.
want to do. They
And
thought it was
that's-
a slower time frame.
And, yeah, one of
That's
the,
fine.
I talked to Jeremy down at Hoyt, and he said, if you can plan it for January, February, that would be a slower time for us.
It will be for me.
And so he said that would be great. If you want to develop what you want them to look for in a firefighter, to nominate them, and not every district, if they don't have anybody that just hasn't met the criteria, or what, you know, not everybody has to,
Everybody doesn't turn in.
right.
And
And
that's-
so then what we'll do is we will take those names, we'll read through why they believe they need to be, and then we'll choose.
be good.
But I thought, you know, if we have it out at Banner, we'll provide food. I think it's important that their family come, and then we'll acknowledge their spouses. We'll do kind of a little, you know, thing, have all the nominees come up, talk about the importance of what they're doing, and then select, give a plaque, maybe gift certificate, something along those
I
lines.
think the plaque is what we've just done, and they've
Great.
been tickled pink with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
then,
I'm just curious, so,
If you want to do it in January or February, that is good.
okay,
But we'll get the-
approximately how many volunteer firefighters do we have in the county?
A little over 300 and some.
So I don't know if the building will hold everybody. If,
Well, not all of them show up.
sure,
I mean, maybe just the fire chief and the assistant chief and maybe a regular member
okay,
show up. I mean, it hasn't been, I mean, when we did it before COVID hit, we probably had 40 people.
okay, and then, like I say, that's what I wanted to make sure that we're.
oh, is that all that attend?
Yeah, and we did it on a Wednesday, I do believe, and a lot of people have church services with their family
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of varies, but
Or maybe we move it to a Thursday or a Tuesday.
that
Yeah,
varies too.
we
And
can do that, but like I said, I just want to make sure that we're gonna have enough room,
Yeah.
because I think, what did Kurt say, 150, 180, something like that day? So I want to make sure that we've got enough room to accommodate everybody.
you will.
Okay.
And once you guys pick your person that you're gonna award the plaque to, let me know so I can work with that fire chief to make sure he can get that person at
There, yeah,
fairgrounds. Yes,
Right.
that's what we usually do. 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes they kind of forget, and I said, where's your guy at? He goes, oh, I'll call him, he'll be right up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and we'll get that done. So like if we're gonna do it in January or February, then if we have nominations from each of the fire chiefs by, you know, 1st December.
Yeah. that'd be
So,
good.
yeah, so that we've got time to read them through, get chosen, and then,
That'd be perfect.
let you know so you can do everything. That gives plenty of lead time to have
Yeah.
like first
In fact, like I
December.
say, after the first of the year works better with my schedule too.
Sure,
So, that's good. I like that.
okay. That
I'll let
sounds-
them know
all right.
what the meeting.
So, just so we can give Kurt something, because it's gonna start filling up with rental for weddings, you name it.
Yeah,
We want a weeknight, correct?
pretty much on this thing you do.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday,
You know what, I can ask them at the fire association meeting in
Okay.
February.
Why don't we do that
And
then?
try to get you a date on that.
And check.
I'll handle it.
February or January?
It doesn't really matter to me. I was just kind of looking here, you know, weather-wise, we're just kind of mercy of that too. But I would almost say like the last week of January, first week of February, somewhere in that time frame.
I'll let them
Be
know
a-
that.
Yeah, have them
Does
just,
that sound good to everybody? I mean, is that
Yeah, that's.
you wanna come down next week and just let us know?
perfect?
Yeah. Well, it won't be next week, it'll be.
Oh, after
Fire-
yours,
Yeah,
yeah.
the firefighters association
Yeah.
is the third Wednesday in February
Okay.
at Floyd, so I'll show them. the
Meal will be
forms.
provided by the county, and the award will be, and we'll MC it and host it and all that good stuff.
But I'll get my plaque lined up probably towards the end of December to see if she can get it on hand and made to get some
Yep.
picked out.
Okay.
It works.
Sounds good.
Okay, just to let you guys know, I am going to be out of state February 5th through the 12th.
Have fun, maybe? Vacation?
Vacation to
Good.
Arizona.
Oh, cool.
And I talked to Tim, I'll talk to the PD over here and the fire departments and let them know. And usually when I'm on vacation, my phone rings off the wall, which is fine. So,
Are you taking your husband with you?
yeah.
All right.
I love you, Nick.
You're not going skiing or anything?
We were, but I don't want to pack a bunch of our ski apparel on the flight and get overcharged for a heavy baggage fee. So I said, we'll just do Colorado later.
I got you.
Yep, there you go.
Yes, it'll be good.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good.
All right, well, I'll get back with you after our February meeting with the fire departments and
Okay.
then.
So be sure you come back.
Denny Ashcraft worked over at the city and he goes, okay, I'm gone now, you ready? Yeah, I got a couple more years. All righty, thanks
See you,
guys.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So everybody's seen the Henderson resignation letter? Have you seen it? Did you read it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'll let you have that back for records. Let's see. I think we've got minutes from the 21st. So everybody read through those?
I haven't gotten all the way through.
I haven't gotten through them yet either. In these minutes too, discussing Pat and the manhole, he told me he contacted John Howe and he got looked at it and said, yeah, it definitely needs to be done. So he's gonna get 2 bids for sure, and so this spring is when we'll be getting that done.
entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
A second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from January 21st. Any discussion? Not. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried, minutes approved. Only other thing I've got is the folks that did the dock out at the lake sent us some information about their expanding their business. If anybody cares to look at it,
Oh.
we'll leave this here. Care to look at it?
No, not
Okay.
this time.
I mean,
If
they're
Kurt wants-
expanding their business, yeah, I'll give that Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you come through next Friday. So.
Okay.
All right, is there any other business before us?
Don't believe so.
All right.
And with that, so you give it back to Ann? Should I go back to?
Yeah, we'll have to get that back to her, so yeah.
See you on Friday.
We might want to, I mean, I'm curious. That's just their tax statements and everything.
Can you make a copy of that?
Yeah, make a copy of that. I think that this here,
That's fine.
this is just their tax statement, I really don't.
Right. That's meant so that we'd be sure we get that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's, give me that so you can get back to her. I'll give this to Kurt.
It's just for information, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no further business before us, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Second, okay, it's been properly moved and second to adjourn the meeting. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried, meeting's adjourned. All right. Thank you, good meeting day, guys.